In this video, I want to talk about where CRM projects really go wrong, and the emphasis is on the word really. I mean, it's a topic that's been written about a lot over the years, but I think a lot of that content has been written by marketing people or journalists or people not really on the front line. And I've been involved in the CRM industry for 20 plus years and been involved or witnessed several hundred CRM projects. So I just wanted to just set out some of the things that I see that commonly go wrong. Now, first of all, I guess we need to say, what do we mean by goes wrong? I guess these days we're not talking about, we embark on a CRM project that never sees the light of day. That's not normally the case. But I think probably the main thing we see is that CRM systems that get delivered that don't really generate a substantial return on investment for all that money and time that gets put into it. The other dimension is really about reputational damage. Reputational damage in terms of internal stakeholders. If you have a CRM project that goes off track, then that impacts, employees' view of a company. That might spill down into reduced motivation or higher staff turnover. But, also you've got the dimension of external stakeholders like customers and other key stakeholders like suppliers. So if you have a project that goes wrong and they can see that going wrong, that can have a significant impact on reputation. And if you extend that further, if a project really goes wrong, then actually that can have quite a big impact on revenues if you get major disruption from a system failure. So let's talk about some of the areas that things go wrong, and I sort of boiled this down to sort of 5 areas. Firstly, I'd say that one of the key ones is just a lack of a compelling initial vision. We're not setting out to do something that's actually going to generate a huge return on investment. And I think there's a number of reasons for this. Firstly, I think people make an assumption that if I buy some CRM software, good things are kind of going to happen. They don't perhaps understand that CRM technology is a tool set, and it only adds value when you apply that tool set. So you don't just get benefits cropping up from putting a CRM system in. You have to apply that, you have to leverage that technology in a way that benefits you. And the second dimension to that is I think people don't always understand what's possible. They don't understand what CRM systems can do. They don't understand the art of the possible. So you don't know what you don't know. So if you don't know what CRM technology can potentially do for you, the chances are you're not going to put something in that can really make a difference. So that's the first issue. Second issue, they just go and choose the wrong sort of technology platform. I think this sometimes comes from perhaps inadequate work on the requirements definition part, but it's difficult. You talk to a lot of software salespeople, they can be economical in the truth, downright deceptive at times, but it's difficult sometimes to really understand whether a given technology is going to work for you as an organization. And the implications of picking something that doesn't work can be quite profound, because almost by definition you end up trying to live with what you've chosen for a very long period of time. So if you've got the wrong platform, it can have an adverse effect for a considerable period. Thirdly, the implementation is problematic. There's all sorts of implementation issues. Now, I'd say that commonly happens due to the quality of the implementation partner you've chosen. Now, there's some very good implementers out there, don't get me wrong, but there's a lot of very poor, very relatively unskilled, relatively inexperienced implementers. And I would say on average, the average implementer, if you're randomly to pick one, they're probably not going to be very good. So, if you've chosen the wrong people, then your CRM project can be very, very painful, very extended. you can get substantial cost overruns. But equally, you can get issues on the other side. If you, as a customer, if you've not managing that partner, you're not showing the leadership on your side, you're not freeing people up to work on the project, you're not doing the stuff that's required for the project in a timely way on your side, then you're also going to get problems. But that implementation, more often than not, is problematic in my experience and takes a lot longer. It's a lot more painful than people appreciate. The fourth area is testing. Now this sometimes just spins out of a poor choice of implementation partner because the things they develop are low quality, which means you've got lots of issues that need to be picked up by testing. But I do see a lot of organizations who don't have terribly structured testing programs, and people don't test extensively or rigorously as they should, or in some cases don't even test at all. And then that creates lots of problems when you go live. As I say, that exposes you to all sorts of reputational damage and can be very disruptive when you're going live with a new system that just doesn't work for you. I think the final area, and probably the biggest one from my viewpoint, is that user adoption piece. A lot of the benefits from CRM systems accrue from all users using the system in a consistent and structured way over time. And invariably that doesn't happen. What tends to happen is you get a few users use the system really well. Another group of users kind of use it occasionally, or they use it but use it in a way that's not the way they're meant to use it. And you get another group that just don't use it at all. So that getting people to use systems, particularly if they haven't used systems in the past, there's a lot involved in that. If you haven't got that change management program, that user adoption program in place, the chances are you're going to build a system that isn't going to be universally used, isn't going to generate value, and isn't going to get you a positive return on investment. Anyway, those are the 5 most common pitfalls I see with CRM projects. Those are the 5 areas where things mostly go wrong. Hopefully, it's just 5 areas to be aware of, to avoid if you're running a CRM project. And hopefully that helps you. Thanks.